Do you want to leave the meeting?
Yeah. It already, I don't know, when you just joined and you, it was recording when you started, it asked me. I don't know. I have so many thoughts in my head right now. Like I was like looking at my shirt and I was like, oh, kindness makes a difference. And then I was like looking at my bullet journal and thinking about other things. Man, I need to get on meds. I really do. These past couple of weeks has become increasingly difficult to just be a human.
I feel that in my heart and soul.
Yeah. I also feel like the way that my hair is right now, I look bald as fuck.
No, you don't.
It's about bitch. Anyways.
Welcome back to episode 38 of Rewriting Her Story.
I gotta do it instead of it's a bad bitch party. You cannot come in. It's a bald bitch party. Okay, I'm done. I'm focused. Super focused.
This episode was also requested by one of our Ride or Die listeners, Megan.
Look at our requesters.
I know.
So excited.
I think like 3 or 4 out of all the ones for December have been requests, which is super exciting because I love to honor those.
Exciting. Yes. I love that.
Yes. So we're going to kind of talk about this, not in a roundabout way, but in a kind of universal way instead of a super specific way, right? So the topic of today's episode is decreasing our judgment of other people's relationships. And what I mean is there are endless kinds of relationships, right? Endless. It's not our business, our job, our responsibility to judge how somebody else chooses to live their life, right?
Yes.
If you are curious about somebody's relationship and you choose to ask them a question, you can choose to do so. They don't have to answer you if they don't want to, right? When we're asking these questions, though, let's not be offensive. If you're genuinely curious and you're trying to get to know or you're trying to understand kind of their dynamic or how that started, that's okay. Being curious is fine. It's a totally acceptable trait. We are curious creatures as humans, right? But there's a way to ask questions. If you would have asked me 15 years ago what I thought of like polyamorous relationships, I'd have been like, are you fucking insane? I would never. Right? I could never share. I could, like all of kind of the immature thought patterns that come with being at my 15 years ago. For me, I was 22 because I didn't understand it. And all I knew was the traditional relationship of 2 people, right? I'm not even going to say like a man and a woman. Obviously, I knew what it was like to have a same-sex couple too, right? As I've gotten older and I've been around more people and I've done more research and I've gotten more into learning about these kinds of things. There's so many different kinds of relationships you can have when it's a consensual relationship. Let's just put that out there, right? Like when it's agreed upon by all parties. But it's also not your place to judge somebody. If it's not a consensual relationship, it's none of your fucking business, to be quite honest. But if they want to share it with you, don't shame them, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Am I making sense?
Yes, you are making sense. I think that if you are in this place where somebody is sharing their relationship with you and it is not something that you I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. If it's not something that is in your realm of possibilities for your life, simply remove yourself from the conversation. There's no need to project your thought process on it, to discuss what your religion says about it.
What the Lord Almighty is going to do to you.
I cannot. There's no need for any of that because here's the thing. If it is not involving you in your life, then you do not get an opinion about it. You don't. If you want to have an opinion about it, that's fine. That doesn't mean that you share that opinion with that person. There's plenty of things that I don't agree with in this world. That doesn't mean that I'm going around and telling people I don't agree with them. Like I am in one political party and other people are in another political party.
Right.
I don't make it my mission to let people know what I think and believe and feel and that they should do the same. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you are who you are. You're a human. You have your own free will and thoughts and feelings. And I appreciate that about the human race. And so the same goes with relationships. If you cannot understand that this is how somebody is living their life, it's not for you to understand because
yes.
you're not in it.
Yes.
You're not in it.
Yep.
If it has nothing to do with you, like, you're not in it.
And then you're judging from a place of ignorance, and that's
Yes.
hurtful, right?
Yes.
And if you choose to refuse to educate yourself on that matter, that's a you problem, right? And nobody's
Yeah.
asking you to go do research on how they're living their life. However, if somebody in your family and you feel some type of way about their relationship, but then you're also kind of like, well, I'm curious, like, how does that work? But maybe you don't feel comfortable having that conversation, then do some research or leave them the fuck alone. Leave them alone. Let them live their life.
So I think that's the blanket statement that we want to say about that. Let's take it from the opposite side or perspective of, if you are the person in a
non-traditional relationship.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, is that offensive? I literally
No.
was just gonna ask that, to say like a non-traditional, because like, what the fuck is a tradition anymore? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yes.
is that even real? So
Right.
like, if you were in a position that you were in a relationship where your family, friends, whoever don't understand or get it, or maybe even take a step back from that, don't know about it.
Sure.
How can we rework your thoughts to be able to handle those conversations that potentially are coming in the future?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that look like? First and foremost, we have to understand that if we're not sharing who we are with people, that we are operating in a place of shame.
Absolutely.
So there is some sort of shame around the relationship, feelings, person, whoever you are. And I'm not saying that to be we're calling a spade a spade. That's what it is. People don't share shit that they're shameful of.
Sure.
And it's not that they don't love their partner, love themselves, love those things. It's that fear of being unlovable, because that's what
Yes.
shame teaches us. I am unlovable.
Yes.
Right. So it's not that,
mm-hmm.
yes, it's not that you don't like yourself. It's not that you don't love the relationship that you're in. It's just that fear of you aren't going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the fucking thing. You aren't going to be everyone's cup of tea. Let's call that out right now. Not everybody is going to like you. Not everyone is going to want to understand you. Not everyone is going to give a shit. And that's okay. That's okay. You do not need everybody's approval to live authentically, to be
Mm-hmm.
yourself. If it makes you fucking happy and it's not hurting anyone else, then it's no one's fucking business.
Yep.
And if you want to share that with them, the same, I'm going to ask that you have the same respect that we're asking those people in the beginning to have. If that
Sure.
is not something, like, you can share, like, this is my partner, we are together, this is what our relationship looks like. And if they're like, I don't agree with that, that's a fucking K. They don't have to agree with it. You don't need their approval to live your life.
Yep.
Is it going to hurt? Yeah, absolutely. Please defer to episode, 37 on radical acceptance and how to get through this aspect of your life,
Mm-hmm.
because we will have to radically accept that maybe your friends, family, whoever it is, doesn't accept the way that you live.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, though. It doesn't make it wrong.
Right. And like anything else we've talked about too, it could also be a projection of that person's jealousy that they don't get to live out maybe something like they wanted to, like you're doing. That's a them issue. That's not a you issue. I think it's a beautiful thing. Like, polyamory is not for everybody, and that's okay. No. But I think it's a beautiful thing when you have people that are in a consensual relationship and they're getting all of their needs met, even if it's by different people. Mm-hmm. That's amazing to me, that you can be so open and honest and vulnerable with multiple partners and everybody's on the same page. I just think that's really beautiful. And here's the thing, when you have the conversation with friends or family or whomever that you're having issues with, be fucking confident. If you are confident in your relationship and you're like, this is what it is and I am so fucking happy, they're going to feel that. And then their ability to kind of like question you or try to shame you, I feel could be diminished even just a little bit because they're like, wow, she really is happy. Like she knows what she's doing. She's not being a dumb kid or she's not
This
being
is a phase.
irresponsible. Exactly right. Right?
Yeah. Yes. I feel like that's about that. I really do. Like I really feel like it's one of those moments that's radical acceptance. You can't control, honey, what other people think or feel about your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That does not mean that your relationship is wrong. It doesn't mean that you are wrong. It doesn't mean that you aren't loved and accepted by many other people. It doesn't mean that there is a place for you in this world, because there absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who makes you feel otherwise is fuck off.
Mm-hmm. And just like any other relationship, like no two relationships are the same.
No.
Right? So what it looks like for one person or one group of people isn't going to be the same for another group of people. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that yours is wrong.
Correct.
Be confident in what you have and who you are, and nobody can take that away from you. And again, they don't have to like it. They don't have to understand it, but they also don't have to be rude about it. If you are genuinely curious about somebody's, say, poly relationship,
Mm-hmm.
asking questions like, hey, how did you guys come to the determination that that's what you wanted to do? What kind of questions did you ask? How did that feel? Like, ask real genuine questions. Just like, oh, do you guys like all fuck each other or like what?
Literally,
Like, you don't ask questions like
don't ask that. I don't ask if you fuck in your relationship.
Right.
Who do you fuck?
Right.
And how?
Like, have some
that will, you know what, that will never cease to amaze me of transgender individuals, and when people are asking them about their private parts, I am like,
Yes.
what the fuck is wrong with
Yes.
you?
Yes.
How is it any of your business?
People have this sense of entitlement, like, well, you're announcing it to everybody, so I get to ask you. No, the fuck you don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Me asking you to address me as how I feel and who I am is
Yes.
not a gateway to ask what is in my pants. What the fuck?
Just like when you're pregnant, it's not a gateway to you asking me what I'm going to do with my tits or can you touch my stomach?
I was just going to say,
No.
It is not a gateway to you fucking touching me, okay?
Or my infant who's in its car seat. You're not going to touch my baby. What are you doing?
People are freaking wild. People are wild. Wild.
Judgment is a... I was talking to a client yesterday and I was like, here's the thing. Sometimes judgment can be effective. If you are feeling like you're in a dangerous situation and you're judging that situation for like, I need to be over here for safety's sake, that judgment is okay. If you're judging another person for the sake of fucking judging, it's not okay. For what?
Yeah. What's the point? What are you
For
doing?
what? What is that doing for you?
To make yourself feel better?
Right.
Do you feel better now? Do you feel better that you judge somebody on a situation, an experience that they're having in their life? Do you feel better?
Exactly.
Ew. You know what I don't have time for? That. Not 1
1,000,000%.
bit.
Nope.
Not 1 bit. I don't have time for that.
Mm-mm.
I don't know about you, but I grew the fuck up. So
Same.
join me when you're ready. Join me.
Here's the thing. In my experience, I will never judge somebody's choice in their relationship because that's not my place to. If you like, no matter what the situation is, I don't care if you met him yesterday and you decided to get married, that's on you. That's your life. I'm not going to judge you for it. Right? It's not doing anything to me. The fuck am I judge you for?
Yeah, well, I might have an opinion about it, but I'm not
Sure.
going to say my opinion because my opinion doesn't fucking matter. It's a moot point. I'm not
Yes.
the one getting married. You are.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep my opinion to my damn self.
Yes.
That is what it is. Like, I think we would be remiss to say that there aren't judgments, right?
Sure.
There are judgments. Keep it to yourself.
Mhm.
Keep it to your damn self. Like, if it is something that is going against what somebody is doing or offensive, what is the purpose of sharing it? And here's the thing. If you want to share it, if you really are concerned about that person, then it's no longer a judgment. It's more so stepping into vulnerability and having a conversation and saying, hey, I love you and I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. That's not the same thing.
It's not, because then it's opening the doors to have this open communication for the person to say, hey, I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't the life I had expected for you. And I don't know how to operate in your new life. And I don't know what my place is. I don't know how to meet you halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how you can join me. Here's how you can meet me. Here's
Well,
what
because then it gives them
parent.
the opportunity to explain to you
Yes. Yes.
everything that's going on in a much healthier and effective way.
Yes.
So I hope that helps kind of both sides of the situation, right? If you've ever wondered about somebody in your life and their non-traditional relationship and how to broach that topic with them, or if you are the person in a non-traditional relationship, how to challenge maybe some of those own judgments that you have of yourself, right? Are you questioning whether or not this is the right thing to do? Well, according to fucking who is it not the right thing for you to be doing, right? Because of what you knew growing up. Well, you can change that though. You can choose to believe and do different things as you get older. That's your power. You get to make changes. So kind of check your own judgments, but also being able to accept that you have no control over somebody else's feelings about you or judgments about you or what they're going to say to you. You have control over how you respond. And that's
how you react. And if you allow them to stay in your life, if it continues to be a toxic relationship, you have control over whether or not that person is in your life, blood or not.
Yep. 1,000,000%. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully it validates people. I think that it will. It is a possibly touchy subject for some people, but it doesn't have to be. Like, let's normalize non-traditional relationships. They're not hurting anybody, right? They are in a consensual relationship that was agreed upon by all parties. They're not hurting anybody. Let them fucking be.
In other places, it may be a touchy subject. Please know that it is not here. You have a seat at our table. Everybody has a seat at our table. You are welcome here. You are valid. You are loved. You are appreciated. And just because you might not live the same way as me does not make you any less of a human being who is less deserving of love and respect.
Yep.
So you can find us at Rewriting Her Story podcast on Insta and YouTube. You can find us but not like the at sign, Rewriting Her Story podcast at gmail.com. Steph is at SpookyFitMom13. I am at BEA_XO11. And until next time, San Diego.
Don't fuck yourself, San Diego.
Bye.
That's my sign off.